Hi, I'm Lisa Marie. Welcome to my channel, Living My Best Life, where I help you live yours. Today we're going to talk about invading other people's space. You know that little bubble around you that you really don't want people to get any closer than that? Well, there's people that don't have any sense of boundaries, and they will come up and get right in your bubble, and they will not care anything about your personal space. And if you're like me, I tend to back off a little bit, and I just kind of think, why are they doing that? Do they not have any sense of personal boundaries? And then there are people that you meet them and they immediately start telling you everything personal about themselves and kind of just vomit their life story, and they have no personal boundaries either. I don't know about you, but I prefer to kind of get to know someone a little better before I start telling them everything about me. It's kind of interesting how, some people are super guarded and other people just tell you everything. And I think that probably comes from childhood, maybe not having healthy boundaries taught and set up in the first place. The other thing is when someone comes up and gives you a hug, which is fine, I don't have a problem with that. But if the hug just lasts a little too long and you don't really know them very well, then you kind of feel like your personal space has been invaded. It's kind of an interesting thing, but when it happens to you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm kind of guarded in some ways. I mean, if I know someone, I'll be really open, and I love giving hugs and that kind of stuff. But if I don't know someone or I get a weird kind of vibe from them, I tend to hold back a little because I'm thinking my gut instincts are usually pretty correct, and so I like to go with that. So you should also trust your instincts. But if you don't have any experience with that, or if you might be one of those people who weren't taught super healthy boundaries, then you're going to have to figure that out by reading people, learning how to read them, and also watching how others interact, because that might give you a clue if you don't see it yourself. Boundaries are important, and think about children, for example. It's so important that you set boundaries for kids, because that's what helps them learn how to respect authority and kind of stay within the bounds of what we do here in life, what is acceptable and what is not. And there's a lot of adults, unfortunately, who didn't learn that as children because maybe their parents didn't really know how because they weren't taught. And so sometimes we kind of have to guide those people along and help them know, hey, you're kind of standing a little too close for me, or, nothing personal, but I require a little more personal space. Put it on you so that they don't feel bad. Just say, hey, I need a little more space, and you're a great person. I don't know you well enough for you to kind of come in that close. However you might say it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with being honest and setting your boundaries. I mean, it's healthy. A lot of people feel bad, but you shouldn't feel bad about setting your boundaries, because your boundaries are your boundaries, and you require them for peace of mind and for your own personal comfort level. And that's not wrong. You don't owe somebody else to sacrifice your boundaries or comfort level just because it might make them feel uncomfortable, when in fact it's them who has the boundary issue, not you. What do you consider a breach of a personal boundary? How close is too close? How much information is too much information? What makes you feel uncomfortable when somebody starts sharing too much? How do you react? Why don't you let me know in the comments some of the things that you've experienced or how you handle them, and that might help other people. I know for me, I just try to use my body language first to let them know. If that doesn't work, then I have to use my words, and I have to be kind and respectful. And if they still don't get it, I'm going to be extremely direct, because at that point, that's the only thing I really need to do, because they're not getting it any other way. And if you get someone who just, no matter what you do, it doesn't help, then you might have to say, you know what, that person's kind of toxic for me, and get some space from them, and maybe that's just not a healthy relationship for you. And that's okay too, because you get to decide what's a healthy relationship for you and what isn't a healthy relationship for you. Personal boundaries are important. We all need them. And if you don't know what yours are, you need to think about it and figure them out so that you know in advance, before somebody invades your personal space, what exactly you need to do to maintain that and preserve it. It's important. It's important to know your boundaries, to know your limits and set them, and then make sure others know it. I think that's the key. People can't read your mind, so sometimes you have to let them know. I have a lot of videos on living your best life and how to do things that would really help you with this. So I'm going to put some of those down in the description, and also I'll have them up above in the cards. And I will see you the next time. Black swan, an event or occurrence that deviates beyond what is normally expected and would be difficult to predict. So now you know, and you can be part of the conversation.
Bye.